I'd love to say that this story has a happy ending, but that's just not the case. This is the story of me and the fateful night that she came in the door. She was a beautiful woman who could have anything she wanted. Fast cars, lots of money, the finest imports, and any man worth his salt clamoring at her feet. But she came to me. Her father was a wealthy businessman on the upper side of town. He claimed to make his fortune selling all American products, but everyone was well aware that the Chinese were shipping them in for pennies on the dollar. It didn't matter to him as long as he got the credit. Unfortunately, he got his sticky fingers involved in something he just shouldn't have been touching, and he got himself in some trouble. It was then that he was gone, and she needed help. I didn't believe her at first. Thought she was a crazy dame out on the town just talking nonsense to any Jimmy who would rustle. It was then, the next day, when she was missing herself, I knew I had to go after her. She was taken by the Marconi family, one of the wealthiest mob families on all of the East Side. I figured when they couldn't get to the old man to spill over his fortune, they'd go through her instead. If you can't get a man to break, spill the blood of the one he loves. I was gonna need more than some dinky cult to get through this. I was gonna need real firepower. After digging around the office, I had found her, old Betsy, my shotgun that my father handed down to me when I was but 9 years old. He'd always said to me, a boy without learning how to fire a rifle is as useless as a woman who hasn't learned how to cook. Good old Pop. A lot of you by this point are probably asking, why didn't I just call the police? Why didn't I just call it a day and stay in my office and leave her to the night city? Why didn't I just realize that I was in over my head? Well, sometimes when a crazy broad comes into your office, you just can't say no. The truth of the matter is I had already called the police. The thing is, with their common response time and the pure efficiency of these boys, I knew that she didn't have long, and if I didn't get in there, she wouldn't even have a chance. It wasn't long before I found myself backed in a corner. Fortunately, guys on the dime like this tend to get pretty impatient. After waiting it out for a bit, it's really quite easy to lead them into a standstill. After all, the tortoise always did beat the hare, and the thing with that is the hare never lived to survive the winter. Fortunately, the call to the NYPD hadn't gone unnoticed. They managed to provide me with a bird to look over from the aerial view. It wasn't much, but it would give me an idea of where they were located. Even though it was just me with a pissed-off demeanor and my gun at my side, versus probably the most ruthless thugs the city's ever known, I felt I had the even odds. After all, I had to give them a fighting chance. As I rounded up to the staircase, that's when it happened. You ever have a dream where you can feel the tightening grasp of impending doom around your throat as you watch the life drain out of your own eyes? It's kinda similar to falling. I had one of those. Didn't much care for it. In my delusion, I didn't realize I was right back where I started. I hadn't made much progress, but I was determined to press on. From there, things kind of fell into a routine. I'd find the bad guy, I'd shoot the bad guy. I felt a little bit closer to becoming the hero, yet at the same time I couldn't get the constant visage of death out of my head. I even took a bullet to the shoulder, a little bit ways back there. The thing is though, once you've faced a gun wound, you realize that you either die or you get better. I wasn't allowing myself to die just yet. As I raced into the final building, I realized that this was it. This is where she was. I knew it, because there I saw him. The world became a blur as I was staring the grandfather of the whole family right in the face. No one really knew his real name, but everyone knew him as Shreddy, and his love for violence. I stared him down and I knew that this was the crucial moment. This was hit or miss. And unfortunately, I missed. Like I said, kids, not all stories have a happy ending. And as I watched what I thought were my killer's eyes ending my own life, I thought, did I go wrong? Did I mess up? Could I have done better? You know what? It doesn't matter. Because life is a game.